Why education must change before it's too late. Welcome to the Global Sovereign University podcast. Today we are tackling one of the most urgent topics facing our civilization, the crisis of dependency, and why we must fundamentally transform how we think about education. The episode is inspired by our foundational text, Teach Them to Fish Before the Pond Runs Dry. Let me start with a question that might make you uncomfortable. How many people do you know who could survive, truly survive, if the systems they depend on suddenly disappeared? I am not talking about apocalyptic scenarios. I am talking about job loss, economic downturn, or simply the gradual erosion of safety nets that previous generations took for granted. The answer for most of us is sobering. We have raised generations who are extraordinarily educated by traditional metrics, degrees, certifications, test scores, yet remarkably unprepared for self-sufficiency. And this is not their fault. It is the inevitable result of an educational philosophy that prioritizes credentials over capability. Today, I want to explore three critical themes. First, why the current model is failing. Second, what teaching someone to fish actually looks like in the modern world. And third, why the urgency has never been greater. Let us start with the failure of the current model. For the past several decades, we have operated under an assumption that formal education, culminating in a college degree, is the pathway to success. And for a time, this was largely true. A degree opened doors, signaled competence, and provided access to middle-class stability. But something has shifted. Dramatically. We now have more college graduates than ever before. And yet we also have more young adults living with their parents, more student debt than at any point in history, and a growing skills gap that leaves employers desperate for capable workers while graduates struggle to find meaningful employment. How did we get here? We got here by confusing education with credentialing. We got here by treating school as a sorting mechanism rather than a development process. We got here by devaluing practical skills in favor of theoretical knowledge. Think about what we actually teach in most schools. We teach students to memorize information for tests, regurgitate it on command, and then promptly forget it. We teach compliance, conformity, and the ability to sit quietly for hours. What we do not teach, at least not systematically, is how to solve real problems, manage money, build things, fix things, or navigate the actual challenges of adult life. And here is what makes this truly urgent. The world is changing faster than our educational institutions can adapt. Artificial intelligence is transforming the job market. Automation is eliminating positions that once provided stable middle-class incomes. The skills that guaranteed employment for our parents may be obsolete for our children. So what does teaching someone to fish actually look like in the 21st century? It starts with a fundamental shift in philosophy. Instead of asking what students need to know, we need to ask what students need to be able to do. Knowledge is important, but only insofar as it enables action. The goal is not a stuffed head, but capable hands. Practical skills form the foundation. Every young person should graduate with basic competencies that were once considered common knowledge. How to manage a household budget, how to perform basic repairs, how to cook nutritious meals, how to navigate bureaucratic systems, and how to evaluate information critically. But teaching someone to fish goes deeper than practical skills. It is about cultivating a mindset, a belief in one's own agency and capability. The person who knows they can learn anything, adapt to any situation, and solve problems they've never encountered before is truly prepared for an uncertain future. This is what we call educational self-reliance. It is not about knowing everything. It is about having the confidence and competence to figure things out. It's about being a learner for life, not just for the duration of formal schooling. Financial literacy is perhaps the most critical fishing rod we can hand someone. Understanding how money works, compound interest, debt, investing, budgeting, is not optional in a modern economy. It's survival knowledge. And yet we send 18-year-olds into a world of credit cards and student loans with virtually no preparation. Now let us talk about urgency. Why does this matter now more than ever? The pond is running dry. This is not hyperbole. Social Security faces insolvency within the next decade or two. Pension systems are underfunded. Government debt is at levels that cannot be sustained indefinitely. The social safety nets that previous generations could count on are fraying. I am not saying this to create fear. I am saying this because pretending otherwise does a disservice to young people who deserve honest preparation for the world they will actually inherit, not the world we wish they would inherit. The good news, and there is good news, is that self-reliance is achievable. Human beings are remarkably adaptable. Given the right tools, knowledge, and encouragement, people can develop capabilities they never imagined possible. I have seen it happen countless times. The struggling student who discovers they have a gift for working with their hands. The single parent who learns to manage money and breaks the cycle of financial chaos. The retiree who mentors young people and watches them flourish. This is the multiplication effect. When you teach someone to fish, you do not just feed them for a lifetime. You create someone who can teach others. The impact multiplies through generations, through communities, and through civilizations. So what can you do? How can you be part of the solution? If you are a parent, examine what you're actually teaching your children. Are you solving problems for them or with them? Are you building dependency or capability? Every time you do something for a child that they could learn to do themselves, you're giving them a fish instead of teaching them to fish. If you are an educator, push back against the credentialing machine. Find ways to incorporate practical skills, real-world problem-solving, and financial literacy into your teaching. Your students may not remember the content of your lectures, but they will remember the skills you help them develop. If you are someone who has skills, trade skills, life skills, professional expertise, consider how you might transfer that knowledge to others. Mentorship is perhaps the most powerful form of teaching. One person investing in another can change the trajectory of a life. And if you are someone who realizes you have gaps in your own preparation, it is never too late. Self-reliance is not a destination, but a journey. Every new skill you develop, every area of dependency you eliminate, makes you stronger and more resilient. Let me close with this thought. The proverb about teaching a man to fish has endured for thousands of years because it captures a fundamental truth about human flourishing. We are not meant to be passive recipients of provision. We are meant to be capable, contributing members of our communities. The dependency model, whether in government programs, educational institutions, or family systems, ultimately diminishes human dignity. It treats people as problems to be managed rather than potential to be developed. The fishing model, education for self-reliance, honors human dignity by believing in human capability. It says, you can learn, you can grow, you can handle this, you can build a life of purpose and contribution. The pond may be running dry, but the ocean of human potential is limitless. Let us stop managing scarcity and start developing abundance, one capable, self-reliant person at a time. Thank you for joining me today on the Voice of Sovereignty at Global Sovereign University. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep teaching others to fish. Like globalsovereignuniversity.org.amazon.com/author Jenna Constant. Rebuilding civilization one voice at a time. Connecting generations, preserving wisdom, building tomorrow.